UFC 328 has recently just finished, and I'm going to be going through the whole card from the early prelims into the main event, talking to you about each fight and what I thought about it, breaking it down as best as I possibly can. And we can all agree, for the first time in a long time, we were hyped. Hyped for this card, hyped for the fights. It felt like the OG UFC days. It's good to be back. Come on, Dana, give us more of this. But anyways, let's go through the fight card. Here we go. Early prelims. Clayton Carpenter, Jose Ochoa. Your classic unranked flyweight beating. That was a good fight. Really entertaining. You can't complain with that being your opening fight of the card. Jose looked good. I don't know how Clayton actually kept going. That was a beating. I think most fighters would have called it. Maybe other teams would have thrown in the towel. That was a beating. But hey, Clayton, point that you stated, you've got a hell of a chin. But wow, that was a beating. Absolute beating. Jose looked amazing. Next one. Bizinger Susakayev versus Jordan Santos. Now, we can all agree, if you have seen the odds, Bizinger, basing off the odds and how much of a favourite he is, we are thinking that he is going to put away every single opponent of his within the first minute. It is so one-sided. And I get it. He's got the name. He's got the look. He's got training with Khamzat Chimaev every day. He's got the Russian flair. On paper, we're looking at it. Here we go. Bizinger Susakayev Magomedov. But I got to be honest. Whilst he got the win, good on ya. I'm not sold. I am not sold on Susakayev right now. I'm intrigued as to when he keeps going up the ranks. Okay, if someone was to ask you, do you think he'll be UFC champion? No, I do not think he would be UFC champion. It is early days, hell of a career in front of him. But I think right now there's a bit too much not favoritism, but the odds are closer than too far away than what they're actually meant to be. Although he still got the win. Fair play. Next one. Roman Kopylov versus Marco Tulio. Now, I should have done my prediction video. I thought Kopylov was going to win. I tell you what, he is now, what are we? Robocop? Tulio? Hosta? Dana's just saying, give him Brazilians. Give the guy Brazilians. You know, Kopylov, don't care, just give him Brazilians. Next one, he's getting Pereira. Who knows? But he's 3 Brazilians in a row. Fair enough. I thought Kopylov was just going to be a bit too much for Tulio. And we saw it. Kopylov looked good. What we saw against Costa looked good, but the issue was Kopylov was not fighting. You know, you've got the controller in your hand and you're just screaming out, press circle, press X, do something. Kopylov looks good, active, really onto it. At times I thought he didn't need to do the takedown. He probably could have even finished Marco, but he chose to do that. It makes you think, if Kopylov just had a bit more power in his hands, he could have finished a bit more fights, I think. He looked good, just lacks that power. Not as bad as, we're not talking about Colby level, where he's got no power. But if he just had a bit more power, I think he can finish opponents more. But hey, if you know your fight game, and you saw Kopylov with the underdog, ooh, the odds were too good. We move on. Jim Miller versus Jared Gordon. Jim Miller, at 87 years old, in a nursing home with my granddad, but yet somehow Dana picks up, hey Jim, you want to fight? Yeah. This was my safe pick. There is no way Jared Gordon. The Jared Gordon against Paddy. He can't lose to Jim Miller. And Jim Miller submits him in the first round. This is fighting. I remember in Dana White's post-fight press conference, they asked him, do you think he's undervalued, or what is that word? Can't remember. Undervalued, underwhelmed. No, what is that word? Underrated. Do you think Jim Miller's underrated? And Dana said no. I do agree with him, but the longevity at his age to still be fighting in the highest league of fighting in this world. Jim Miller, hats off. Jared Gordon. That's a tough one. Tough one. You gotta be better than that. You can't be losing to Jim Miller. Or maybe, did we think Jared Gordon is better than we think he is? Or did he just previously perform better than what he actually is? Bit of a toss-up. But Jim Miller, congrats. I saw you signed another 5-fight deal. He is going to be in the UFC and do 50 fights, which is just astronomical. Insane. Jim Miller, congrats. We move on. Grant Dawson versus Rebecki. Rebecki. I thought Rebecki was going to get this one done. I really thought so. But Grant Dawson, we're going by, we're human beings. We have the right in sport to go by our previous results. And I thought Grant looked a bit shit. But no, he looked good this one. And you could tell the clear level and difference in the ground game as well. I thought it was going to be Rebecki decision. But nah. That's probably, you would assume that's how Grant's going to win if he was going to win. But good on him. He looks good. And you could tell from his winning reaction that he needed that win. You could see the relief off his shoulders. Just on the ground. Good on him. Grant Dawson, good on you. You did well. That's a win for him. Looking forward to what's ahead next for Grant Dawson. Joel Alvarez, Yaroslav Amosov, my goodness. To the welterweight division, be careful, because Yaroslav Amosov is coming. My goodness. Scary. Scary. The way he picked up Alvarez, someone who's tall and the same weight, I don't know if I'll go as far as say ragdoll, but he literally just baby picked him up and choked him out hard. Yaroslav Amosov is good. From recent memory, we've all seen anyone in the twos from PFL, Bellator, Cellator, MFL, all the people coming from the twos and the threes into the UFC. The UFC fighters 99% of the time give them a wake-up call and say, hey, there's levels to this. But Yaroslav Amosov coming back into the UFC, he has put the whole welterweight division on notice, and I wouldn't be surprised if Dana and the UFC brass are saying, let's give him something more. But you know what? Alvarez is really good as well. The fact that he made Alvarez look like nothing. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. The welterweight division is so stacked. So stacked. Absolutely stacked. Oh, exciting times, my boy. Oi, Islam, you got it cut out for you. It's all happening. Oh, Yaroslav Amosov. Scary. On to the next. Oh, gee. Is there anyone in the UFC who has gotten more easy fights or more highlight potential fights than Ateba Gautier? Got it done. We, all us fight fans, are saying Ateba Gautier needs someone much, much better now. It is time. Okay? You've shown him, you've given him enough highlights. He's got his package, his compilation. You can market and advertise the living shit out of him. But we need someone good now. Proper good. Ozzy Diaz is not bad. But like we've seen in all the odds, it's just a cakewalk. It's just here we go. Here's another one on a silver platter. Here's another ESPN highlight on a silver platter. We need something more now. I'll be very intrigued to see what's next. But Ateba Gautier, freak, beast. You look at him and you think, what is this? Look at this. Look at the difference in bodies. They are the same weight, apparently. Oh, that's genetics. Genetics are a bitch sometimes. Don't worry, I'm the brown skinny kid with a fat gut. Gautier. I'm not calling anyone king. Bobby Green versus Jeremy Stephens. Jeremy Stephens, I think he has now lost 78 fights in the UFC. Something along those lines. Good to have you back, Jeremy. He's been in and out with the UFC. Bobby looks good. I'm not calling him king. It's so American. King. I'm King Green. The best example I can give is that if you give Bobby Green someone on paper the same lines as him, same level as him, he beats him. But you give Bobby someone better, he will lose to them. Bobby looks good. Bobby looks sharp. This is one of those fights, though, is how good Bobby is or how shit Jeremy Stephens is. And I think we're going with the latter. Jeremy is just, you knew it. That was probably your safest bet. He's always got that one just in case. Bobby looks good. What's next for him, though? I don't know, because like we just said, right? How big of the gap is going to be for us to know, yeah, he's just going to lose. And we need that. It just shows how stacked also lightweight is. But we need that level for Bobby. Ideally, Bobby wants someone not so good, but decent enough to beat them. It's a bit of a tough position for Bobby. But yeah, very clear, very concise. Jeremy Stephens, go back to bare knuckle, do your thing. You'll have another fight in the UFC some stage. Maybe you'll be Jim Miller, who knows, next opponent, whatever that may be. But Bobby Green, good on ya, did your job. Jeremy Stephens, until the next time. Sean Brady versus Joaquin Buckley. This now, we all saw the line bets. There was a big moment for all of us where the line betting switch went so drastic and we're thinking, oh no, don't call this card off. Don't call the fight off. This is a good fight. Casuals are thinking, boring. But for us fight fans who know the game, this is a good fight on paper. Sean Brady, from recent performances, the Morales one. If you were Buckley's team, you are watching the Morales cam just say, whilst he's an absolute top elite ground game, how to dismiss the ground game? Knock him out. You saw it with Morales and Brady. You saw it with O'Malley and Sterling. Where boxing versus, where high hand-to-hand combat versus ground game. And how do they work? Just put him away. So we always thought Buckley does have that power in his hands. He does. But we also know from watching the Usman fight was that if Usman, past his prime Usman, is really keeping Buckley down, Brady, who I think we can comfortably say is a couple of levels above Usman now. If it was going to the ground, Buckley's got no chance. And that's what we saw. My goodness, look at that. Let's move this to the right side just so you can see this. Look at that. 245 total strikes to 21, 4 take. It was so one-sided. In times like that, you really do feel bad for, for fight camp, for fighters especially. They go through such a brutal camp, brutal camp, and that's the performance what happens. I feel bad for Buckley in a way. He's probably just sitting at home now thinking, well, shit. But Brady looked so good. Brady looked really, really good. The only downside for him is what's next. They gave him the higher level. They gave him the highest level in welterweight, your top 5. But he got destroyed by Morales. He did not even show a bit of Sean Brady at all. What's next? Very, very intrigued to that. Alexander Volkov versus Waldo Cortes Acosta. Thrilling. Nail-biting. What a fight. Volkov versus Acosta. Closer than we thought. I thought Volkov was going a bit of a veteran's masterclass. Well, whilst he did, he used his range. He showed his mileage. He showed his maturity and understanding and IQ of the game. Wasn't that exciting, I think we can all agree. Volkov just showed, like I said, his maturity and understanding in the game and that there's a level. Costa, still a little bit rough around the edges. but wasn't that entertaining. Look at this, 88 to 54. Yeah, close. But Volkov just showed, there's a level to it. It's as simple as that. Acosta, he's still good fun. And you got to give him props. He's active. Really active. Very active. Hats off to that. But yeah, besides that, not much else. Not the most exciting fight we've ever seen. Oh, the co-main event of the evening. Joshua Van versus Tatsuro Taira. We've just seen Volkov and Acosta. Bit of a lull. And then, my goodness. Oh, Van versus Taira. I should have done my prediction video, but I had Joshua Van. I saw Taira versus his other previous opponents, and whilst he did dominate them on the ground, it wasn't that dominating where I thought Joshua Van is not going to do well. We saw it in the beginning. Whilst he did get him down, Josh still had enough understanding and maybe even strength that he wasn't going to get submitted. It was close, but what a fight. Like I said earlier, this is one of those fights where no matter the result, both of your stock goes up. Tatsuro Taira. I didn't like the stoppage, to be honest. I get it, but I didn't like it. I think when it comes to title fights especially, you want them to go down so it's full stop. Period. Solidified. Yes, once again, he took an absolute beating and his face was a bit mush by the end of it. I think maybe he got dropped earlier and that's probably when it could have been called, but the way it ended, it's a tough one. I get it, but it just wasn't maybe the best look, if that's the right word. But no, in general, what a fight. Insane. Joshua Van, this is what we want with flyweight. If you're Dana, you are buzzing. Josh Van is good. He's a Christian brother as well. Keep the faith. Go on, mate. He looked good. Amazing fight. Really good fun. You could tell Tatsuro Taira was getting a little bit tired as the rounds went later. But nah, amazing. It was really, really fun to watch. Can't complain with that one, right? Joshua Van got the belt. Now, even though people were saying, oh, Pantoja, he hasn't. Why is he celebrating? He actually copped a fair bit of stick for the way he celebrated. But I saw Dustin Poirier say, who cares what they say? You won the belt. You didn't get injured. You put him away in whatever way that may be. You have the belt. But for all those people complaining, there you have it. He won the belt, kept the belt, retained the belt, fair and square. Joshua Van, I'm a fan of the Van. Fan Van, go on. But Tatsuro Taira as well. Really good stuff. We will see him fight for a title again. We just know Tatsuro Taira will fight for a title again. But gee, I'm on the Van Express. I and so many of us are as well. He's fun to watch. He's so good. That was a good fight. Really, really good. Like I said, both their stock goes up. Good war. Joshua Van looks good. Joshua Van is the flyweight contender. Now we get Joshua Van versus Pantoja again. That is going to be very, very compelling. Because I think most of us thought Pantoja was going to win against Van. But for all of you who thought Tatsuro Taira was going to submit Van, I think there's actually quite a gap between Taira's wrestling or ground game and Pantoja's. Do I still think Joshua Van could beat Alexandre Pantoja? No. I think Pantoja will give a bit of a yo must have forgot moment. I can't wait. But either way, Joshua Van, Tatsuro Taira, hats off. Both deserved it. Both earned it. Joshua Van, I'm a fan. And finally, the main event of the evening. Chimaev versus Sean Strickland. Let's move this away. Chimaev versus Sean Strickland. I have been seeing the comments. I have been reading it. I see a lot of people from that. 9 takedowns, just a few more strikes. How does that balance it off? But I don't know where to start. Where do we start with this? Khamzat Chimaev versus Sean Strickland. I had Khamzat Chimaev win in first round by submission. I will say, and I don't know about you, now, like I said earlier, there's always, when it comes to fighting, did they look better than they did, or did they look worse than they did? Sean Strickland fought exactly how we all thought. Okay? He was strong. He got up. He looked good. But I disagree with a lot of people. Is it bad of me to say I disagree with the people giving Sean Strickland credit that much? Because in my personal opinion, I've watched so much of Chimaev's fights. I know this game well. And Khamzat Chimaev, he did not look no way near the same fighter as he did against his recent fights. Even that round one, we all know that he sprints. He literally Usain Bolts the opponent. And the amount of energy and power he has is overwhelming. They're drowning. That is what these Chechen Russian people mean by deep waters. We saw it against Whitaker, all of them. Jing Liang. He absolutely destroyed DDP. But the first round, Chimaev, I'm watching it, I'm thinking, there is no way this is the same guy. And I truly believe his weight cut was that abysmal. And we saw it. He looked like death on the scale. Whether or not you believe he even made weight, I'll leave that up to you. But I truly believe Chimaev looked way worse than Strickland looked good. I couldn't believe it. I was shocked. And then round two, that moment happened. Chimaev went for the takedown. And yes, Sean did well of stuffing them. But you saw the moment where Chimaev is tired and he pulls guard. In round two, Chimaev's pulling guard. I was gobsmacked. I and all of us, millions of us watching us, are watching that fight. As soon as he went in round two, pulled guard, we're all thinking and saying, oh wow, Strickland's going to win this. Chimaev's not going to knock him out. If he's already pulling guard like that in round two, Strickland is going to win this. And Strickland did what Strickland was going to do. Don't get me wrong. He looked good. He looked really, really good. He was doing his thing every single time. I think it's now very, very prevalent for years now. The way Strickland fights, it's... I always say he spars like he's meant to fight and he fights like he spars. But it's just a really hard way to fight. You know, someone so close in their body doesn't give them much. It did well. He did well. Good on him. He's champion again. But I'm sorry. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I look at it wrong. But I really believe that Chimaev was not himself at all. He looked awful. His weight cut was bad. He had no energy. I refuse. That's my opinion, guys. CollinsChristianSports. That's on the record. I don't believe Chimaev looked good at all. While Strickland looked decent, I very much am confident, if not certain, this was more about Chimaev looking bad than Strickland looking good. Because at the end of the day, Strickland lost to DDP twice. DDP, Dricus du Plessis, took down Strickland. I'm very confident if the Chimaev against DDP versus the Chimaev against Strickland, that Chimaev would have destroyed the Chimaev against that Strickland. If the Chimaev against Dricus versus Strickland, I think that Chimaev destroys him, submits him. He had no energy, no power. There is no way with how hard these guys train that in round two, you're already pulling guard by exhaustion. Yeah, Shaw was putting it on him, but not on him. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. I think I can say that Chimaev was one of the few fighters that he had that mystique feeling around him. You could never see him losing. Right now, you can't ever see Ilya losing. You can't ever see Makhachev losing. I had Chimaev up there as well. I couldn't see Chimaev losing. But then until you see him losing, you're just thinking, what? Yeah, that's my opinion. That's how I saw it. That's how I looked at it. I watched it again, and I still absolutely gobsmacked and shocked when I'm watching Chimaev pull guard in round 2. Even the commentators. It was crazy. Absolutely nuts. But once again, Sean looked good. Sean did what Sean's gonna do. Strickland be Strickland. He knew how to stuff those takedowns. He was strong. You can't take anything away from Sean Strickland. He sold the fight amazing. Like I said in the beginning, him and Chimaev, it felt like one of those OG UFC. Come on. I'm counting down the minutes for this fight. But then afterward, they made their peace, and I think you could tell it wasn't DC Jones level. It wasn't Khabib Conor hate. It was, let's sell the fight, but maybe us fat asses will never know what it's like to fight someone afterwards and shake hands and say, you know what, respect. Because they both get it. Like Conor said years and years ago when people were making fun of CM Punk fighting. We all laughed at CM Punk, but Conor McGregor says, I tell you what, fair play to him. Because he got in there and fought. So I think it's very similar for these guys. They hate each other beforehand, but once you get in there and fight, it changes your perspective of how you look at someone. So you could tell Strickland was really nice about it. But yeah, I can't believe it. I was shocked. And I'm not saying this as a Chimaev fan. I'm not the biggest fan of Chimaev. I'm not the biggest Sean Strickland fan. I'm a fan of the fight game, and I was a fan of the bad blood that they had and the press conference. But yeah, maybe I'm different. Maybe I'm looking a little bit different. I don't care. I generally believe. Yeah, and you saw the first thing that Chimaev said to Dana White. Dana White said in his press conference, I need to go up. So welterweight, middleweight, light heavyweight now. You could tell he just did not look. And I refuse to believe someone of his training ethic, his work ethic, is getting tired inside round 2. Nah. There's a whole bunch of dodgy, fishy stuff going on in there. Sean Strickland, you did well. Congrats, mate. You're the welterweight champion. You're exciting. On the microphone, I'll still admit, inside, not the most entertaining fight, but that's the game we play and love. Chimaev is no longer the champion. He's no longer undefeated. Wow. Nuts. That is sport. That is fighting. You just never know. And that is it. That is UFC 328. Overall, good card. Enjoyed it. Like I said in the beginning of the video, it felt like the OG days when we were excited. We were pumped. We were like, yes, it is time. Van and Tatsuro Taira, fight of the night by a country mile. Chimaev Strickland, decent fight, bit shocking. It was a good card. You can't complain. It's Costa Volkov, Brady, exciting. Times for him. King Green, what's next? King Bobby Green. For me, the biggest telling, bar the Van and Taira fight, Yaroslav Amosov. Scary. And that's it, guys.